VE3JIW, just a test. Good evening, VE3JIW.
Sounding very good, Jim. VE3JIW, K5HQ.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
DK6, BQQ, KF5HQ. Reggie, Ren.
VE3 Kilo Foxtrot, VE3 KFL monitoring.
Well, somebody has checked that we're live. This is the Mississauga Amateur Radio 2-meter net. My name is Jim, VE3 Juliet India Whiskey in Toronto. Just inside from Mississauga, the other side of the river. Anyway, this net is heard on the 145.430 repeater, PL tone 103.5, minus 600. We're also heard on the 9229 reflector. And you can Google the VE3MIS on YouTube. We might be on YouTube tonight. I didn't check the YouTube. And the purpose of the net is to support the Friendship of Amateur Radio. This is the VE3JIW for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club 2-meter net. And we do 2 rounds. We take RF check-ins, then we move to Echo Link. We separate the Echo Link and the RF because it's easier to run. But we take 2 rounds. We do 1 round, we collect everybody, then we do the 7-3 round, give everybody a chance. We start out with the short timer, and if at any time there is a mobile driving through, there should be a gap in between transmissions, and if somebody is mobile, they can give out a shout. Anyway, my name is Jim, and after some check-ins, I'll do announcements. So I'd like to start with RF tonight, because we are a radio club, so I'd like to start with the RF check-in. Anybody hearing me on the Mississauga repeater, give us a shout. This is Victor Echo 3, Juliet India Whiskey, Toronto.
Echo 3, Juliet Mike Yankee, Murray. Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Bravo Foxtrot, Barry. Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, Carrie. Peter.
Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Echo Sierra, Mark.
Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel, Brian.
Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Zulu Alpha, Brian.
Okay, I missed one after Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Bravo Foxtrot. In between there, I caught part of GBZ. I got Murray, JMY, VE3WBF Ferry, here at GBZ, I'd like to hear from VA3ATS, VE3XTH, VA3AZA. Let's see, after Barry and then GBZ to come again. But let's see, who did I miss after Barry?
VA3 Golf Delta Zulu.
I copied Golf Delta Zulu. It was just before you, sir.
Okay, Alpha 3, Tango Zulu, John.
Copy Jacques, TTZ. Very good, Jacques. Thank you. Anybody I missed? Okay, and now I'm going to collect check-ins from the Echo Link.
This is Alpha X-Ray 3, Hotel Juliet, Quebec, Special Event Station for Australia Day. Good afternoon.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike, John in Niagara, VA3 WM.
Victor Echo 3, Kilo Fox Lima, Tony.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Hotel Golf Uniform, Bob, North Central Texas. Alpha X-Ray 6, Bravo, Quebec, Reg, Western Australia.
Okay, so after HJQ, VA3 Whiskey Mike, VE3 KFL, welcome back. KF5 HQ Bob, VK6 CQQ. Anybody else?
So 1 Kilo India Mike, Andy in Ohio.
In Ohio, can you come with the call sign again? I missed it. Kilo something 1. Kilo something India Alpha Mike.
Hello, India Mike. K1 KIM.
Very good. K1 KIM. Anybody else? Okay, well, I got a list in front of me. And now I thought I'd just go through that to reach the Mississauga Amateur Radio Repeater. Well, we know how to do it by radio, and we figured out the echo link. But we also have email at Victor Echo 3, Mike India Sierra, at Romeo Alpha Charlie dot Charlie Alpha. I'm going to have to go back. I think I dropped it. So the website is VE3MIS. I'm going to have to look that up and say. I'll come back with that. But our address is VE3MIS at RAC.ca. And we do our meetings on Zoom. And if you would like the Zoom address, send us an email. VE3MIS at RAC.ca. And you'll get the link to Zoom, because we aren't doing it in the church. It's closed. When it's in the church, second and fourth Thursday of the month. But anyway, Murray, VE3JMY, welcome to the net.
VE3JIW, VE3JMY in the group. Hello to all, and Jim, very nice to hear you. Hope all is well. It looks like a fine net coming up. Sort of counting the days to better weather over here. Kind of got it in my mind that March has got to be nicer than some of the stuff we got now. But we're also looking forward to the Thursday meeting. If memory serves me right, George is going to do quiz night, which is always fun and informative. And thanks, Jim. Back to you.
Well, that will be interesting if we're doing quiz night on Zoom. Very good. Thank you for coming by. Stay around. Hold on. You know who I forgot to check? I haven't done this net thing for a while. I'm just going to stop for a second. Are there any short time? Anybody short time who I didn't call out?
KIM is short time.
I didn't copy all the call, but I only got one. So go ahead. Something KIM, JIM, short time. Go ahead.
India Mike, we're short time. I have a net that's coming up on 10 meters, so I just wanted to check in and say hello. Good evening to everybody on the net. Echo Link's working very well tonight. I could hear everybody clearly, which is usually the case, but just like was said before, trying to look forward to the warmer weather. I think we have 6 or 8 degrees coming tonight down into Cincinnati, and but the days are getting longer, and if the sun comes out, it's always a little bit better. So with that, I'll turn it back to the net. Thanks again. This is Kilo 1, Kilo India Mike, Back to you.
Very good. Anybody else this short time before I move on?
Net Control, Alpha X-Ray 6, Bravo, Quebec, Quebec. Yes, I've got to run, but great to hear everybody in here. It's a special event station here for Australia Day. Reg from Western Australia, good day.
I heard the Alpha X-ray and then I corrected it. Very good, Reg. Thanks for the comment. Well, I'll try not to make a dog's breakfast of the entire net. VE3 WBF, Whiskey Bravo Foxtrot. Barry, your turn.
VE3JIW. This is VE3WBF. Hello to everybody on the net. For those who are following the trials and tribulations of teaching, I had my first in-person lab at Sheridan College today, and very uneventful. Protocols were all in place, and everything was good and copacetic. So I was a little worried this time. So that's me for the net. So I'll take it back to net control. This is the VE3WBF, over.
VE3WBF, VE3JIW in the group. Thank you very much. Well, I do understand what you're talking about. I try to go to very few places, but when you're standing there and somebody's right behind you and around you, and you wonder, are they a carrier? Never lived through times like this. Too young to experience when polio was raging and they didn't open the schools into late November. But I remember my mother and my grandmother talking about staying up the cottage way into the cold. The other thing I'll remember is my grandmother saying they first got a car to avoid a pandemic that would have been 1925 to 1932, somewhere in there. Anyway, thank you, Barry. And Jacques, Victor Alpha 3, Tango Zulu, your turn. I caught most of what you said, except I'd like to learn more about. Did anybody try that again?
Yeah, I was saying I'd like to learn more about the VE3MIS plan for wire jack.
Okay, well, somebody may come in who could tell us more about the wires X on the UHF. Can't help you much. Moving on, Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, your turn.
Good evening there, Jim, and to all on the net. This is Gary, VA3 Golf Delta Zulu from West End of Toronto. Yeah, Brian, VA3AZA can help you about that, about the Wires X, and I'm sure he's in the wings there, just ready to tell you all about it in a moment. Let's see what's gone on here. Oh, the hospitalizations are flat here. We're not really dropping fast like we would like them to, and yet we're opening restaurants, gyms, and movie theaters on Monday. I think I'll wait a week or two to see how that goes. In terms of teachers that Barry mentioned, we have a relative who's a teacher for the younger grades. She's having a terrible time, 30% absenteeism. Some kids are virtual, some are in person, so that's not working well. I expect to be just one and done. I have to switch over to YouTube to listen to the rest, but I definitely want to hear from our friends in Australia who are AX today. I forgot that. I thought they were VKs. They're AX, to hear what it means and what they're doing. I know it's related to British sovereignty or something like that, but I'll eagerly listen to them and certainly appreciate having the ham network in there. But with all these parties, since these guys are upside down, I think it must make it difficult to drink beer. But we'll wait and hear. This is VA3 Golf Delta Zulu, Gary from the West End of Toronto.
Well, very good, Gary. We're all trying to stay safe. And it's now VA3 Hotel Echo Sierra's turn. Go ahead, sir. This is the Mississauga Commuter Net on the VE3MIS repeater, VE3JIWR.
VE3JIW and Group, Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Echo Sierra. Good evening, Jim, and all on net. And good morning to some of you. Not too much to report. Yes, we are live on YouTube, and if you want to check out any of our past live streams or listen to tonight's, just go to YouTube and search for VE3MIS. Well, you will find a subfolder with all archived nets from the last year. Not much to report from here at the home QTH. It's a little chilly in the shack. I forgot to turn the furnace on before the net. And just getting ready for Winter Field Day this coming weekend. I'm going to brave the cold and try and operate Saturday and Sunday up in Shelburne at a friend's place. And, well, we'll see how long I survive in the cold. Hi. That's all for now, Jim, and I'll be around for the second round. Back to you.
I would like to mention, for anybody wanting to Winter Field Day, you're allowed to use repeaters. I'm not saying it's the only way to reach people, but repeaters are allowed, I'm pretty sure, on Winter Field Day. And the guys in Oakville camp out in a trailer and freeze their fazongas off.
Well, I got a nice little heated wood shack to hang out in, so hopefully I won't freeze too much, Jim.
Yeah, well, even the Shelburne repeater covers all the way into downtown. Very good. Brian of VE3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel, good evening.
VE3JIW, VE3XBH, good evening, Jim, and everybody on that. Hello to, or good morning to those in Australia. Not much to report. It's looking forward to the temperature sort of getting back up a little closer to our normal. It's been pretty chilly lately, and Mark, you're a brave man to be going out in these temperatures. So, best of luck to you on Winter Field Day. but other than that, not much else to report. We're staying on the warm side of the glass, and I will be around for the second round. Send it back to you, Jim. VE3JW from VE3XVH.
Hi, from the check-ins we've had, is there any cross traffic before I continue? Okay, moving on. Brian, the A3 Alpha Zulu Alpha, good evening.
VE3JIW, net control, this is Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Zulu Alpha. Good evening, Jim, good to hear you. Before I go any further, I wonder how my copy is. I'll just pass it back to you for a second and then throw in a few things here. VA3AZA, over to net control.
100%.
Net control, VA3AZA returning. Good to hear you, Jim, and good to hear everyone else on the net tonight, too. Well, I had to apologize. My intention last Wednesday, it's kind of related to what Jacques was asking about. My intention was to hook up the UHF repeater to a net, the CQ Canada net, which is a Wires X net. And I've had some problems with both radio and computer, which I think are sorted out now, so unfortunately that didn't work. But I was planning on doing it again tomorrow. The CQ Canada net runs at 9 p.m. Usually I hook it up at quarter to 9, so maybe Jacques wants to hear that. He can listen in at that time, and I think there's some other Wires X users, maybe Peter. But as for learning about Wires X2, Jacques, I have some material I can send you, and certainly there are some good tutorials on YouTube as well. I think I have some things I can send you, so I'll do that. Anyway, great net. Nice to hear everyone. I'll pass it back to net control. VA3A today, over to net control.
Before we move on, VA3 TTZ, anything to say?
VE3JIW, VE3TTZ. Thanks to Brian for following up on the wire net. I did try it last Wednesday and there was nothing, so I thought maybe the net before the CQ Canada was not happening, but I guess it was a technical issue. I'm looking forward to receive something from Brian and follow up on wire net. Over to the control.
VA3AZA, go ahead.
VE3JW, VA3A today. There we go, Jim. So that's the CQ Canada net, and if Jacques is listening in on that, and I'll email him the materials too on the that I have on Wires X, that'll be the plan, I guess, for tomorrow. I guess we'll do that at 9 p.m. and I should be there at quarter to 9. I usually show up there on the UHF repeater at quarter to 9, and maybe check out a few other things. Over to you.
Just before we go, VA3 TTZ, VE3JIW. How's your success working the UHF repeater? Is it any better for you?
This is VA3 TTZ. I was actually able to connect with 5 watt on H3 a couple of weeks ago. That was during CQ Canada. So that I felt I was lucky that night. Over to net control.
So guys, if I got the mic, it's going to be a late night. Anyway, moving on. Alpha X-Ray 3, Hotel Juliet Quebec. And come in, sir. Good evening.
Thanks, Jim. My number to you, 006 at 12:57 p.m. Pursuing the log. So 6 contacts I've had. Yeah, this is AX3HJQ, special event station for Australia Day. So we're allowed to use AX call signs in lieu of VK on basically 3 times a year. Australia Day, 26, Anzac Day, and the other one's called Radio World Communications Day. So 3 times a year we can knock off the VK and put an AX in front of it. So me and Robert and looks like Reggie Boy's got on the wagon as well. We can use AX call signs, so it's to celebrate Australia Day. Thanks for the net, Jim. I've got you down as number 6, not sending out QSL cards this year. I got 30 contacts last year. We've actually got a special event contact net going, a contest for VKs, ZLs and P2. People may say, what's P2? That's Papua New Guinea. So they've got the first year they've actually had an Australia Day contest. So people are primarily designed for people on HF to sit up on a hill for 12 hours and see how many stations they can check in. But I'm not doing that. I'm just taking Echo Link 1s and giving people a number just for the fun of it. Thanks for the net, Jim. Back to net control. Alpha X-Ray 3, Hotel Juliet, Quebec, John in Australia, a.k.a. VK3HJQ.
Very good. And for our longest, greatest distance via radio, VE3, Whiskey Mike. Good evening, John, from Mississauga Amateur Radio 2-meter net, VE3JIW.
VE3JIW and the Mississauga net. This is John Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike, coming into the net via All-Star, thanks to the fellows down under. I'm on the All-Star node 49903, otherwise known as the Wales Conference. Let's see, the snow is tapering off here. Had a little bit this morning, enough to warm up the snowblower and, run some gas out of it. But other than that, everything is well here, and I hope everybody is doing well in Mississauga as well. VE3JIW, VA3WM.
Hey, John, this is the first real winter we've got with your new vehicle. The previous winters were nothing. Are you having a good time in the snow?
Well, our machine's working good. We're not doing like my neighbor did. I got to tell you this, guys. You'll get a chuckle out of it. Got a BMW, right? You know how the plow leaves a good mound of snow at the end of your driveway. Got to get out. What do? Put it in reverse. Give it a little gas. Push right through the pile. I don't know if there's any damage to his car, but I don't know how that all works. Maybe it's the lease, but still, you got to pay, right? VE3JIW from VA3WM.
Thank you, John. Missed the times when we got together in person, but thanks for coming by. And another radio friend, we've done a couple of free market visits with and other stuff. Tony, VE3KFL, VE3JIW in the net. Good evening, Tony. Welcome back.
Yeah, VE3JIW, VE3KFL. Yeah, good evening, everybody, and nice to hear everybody on the net. And Jim, I'm glad that I had a timely opportunity to speak with you because we haven't talked for a while. I have been inactive in amateur radio for a number of years, and I've decided that I'd like to rekindle some of my interest and love in the hobby. And I just sent out an email today talking to Peter about the club radio system and so on and so forth, and looking forward to possibly talking with him and maybe going out and having a look at the site, the equipment, and seeing if we can possibly do some remote work. I've sort of dismantled my equipment in here since the sunspot went down, and I just checked yesterday to find out, that maybe by 2026 we might be at another peak again, so that's an interesting fact of the story. Jim, good to hear your voice again, and we had some good times together. Back to you, the EJIW from the KFL.
Well, this is me tooting the horn for other people because it wasn't my doing, but the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club station is an amazing build of a pile of new blood who came in and did some amazing things. So you're in touch with ELE, and Peter will let you know all the good things they've done. You might be amazed, or you might say, well, should have happened long ago. But anyway, they have done amazing things, and it's a labor of love for the guys. So high fives and cheers to the new blood who has kept the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club strong. Tell me, when you find out, you'll be amazed at what they can do over the internet with all that radio equipment. And thank you very much. KF5, Hotel Golf Uniform. Bob from Texas. Hello, sir.
Well, good evening. VE3MIS KF5HQ. Jim, thank you for doing the net. Doing a great, fantastic job. I was trying to thank Reg, BK6BQQ, and then HJQ, and Brian, XBH. Well, no, Brian's not in Australia, but the guys in Australia, and then the bunch up around Canada. I've always enjoyed being able to check in on the net and see what's going on, and I've heard some new guys come on and been interested to hear what they're doing. I enjoy the nets when I can get in here, and we do appreciate it very much. I will not be around for the second round. My day started about 5 o'clock this morning, and I hope to be sawing logs shortly after 8. So I thank you very much for the net. Enjoyed it very much, and we hope to talk to you next week. V3JIW KF5HQ 73, my friend, and to you and all.
Well, thank you, Bob. You'll hear new voices on Mississauga because we welcome new people. And if people want to participate, they're welcomed in rather than being told to stand by. Very good. AX6, BQQ Red. Hello. Well, I'm guessing Reggie's busy. AX2, Delta Yankee. I saw you come in, sir. Hello. AX2, Delta Yankee. To the Mississauga Amateur Radio Internet. VE3JIW.
Good afternoon. This is Robert, AX2DY in Kelly Ridge, New South Wales. At all part of the urban sprawl in Sydney. Sun is shining, 28 degrees Celsius. We got 82 Fahrenheit. Thank you guys in Celsius too, so it's just 28 degrees. And it's good. It turned out to be a really beautiful day. Most of the clouds have disappeared by now. It's about only a handful up there now. This looks like a beautiful day. A lot of the Australia Day activities got canceled. My particular local government is the city of Blacktown, and they canceled. They had a big activity planned with a concert and fireworks and everything else, and they ended up canceling it because of COVID. But I think the Hillshire still has something, and that's the next door local government store, something on it. I think Parramatta does as well. So I might just go out and check some of those things out. Other than that, not really much else to share. Just as a point of information, the 26th marks the founding of the colony that would become the state of New South Wales eventually, but it was the founding of that colony, which was the first European colony on the Australian continent. So Australia became a country on the 1st of January, so the 1st of January is sort of taken with other holidays. So the 26th, I think, is another significant date and gives us two holidays instead of one. VK2DY, back to me.
I'm sure there's some interesting history to read or learn about. I bumped into a bit of it on the internet. Anyway, I've run through my list. Is there anybody who'd like to join the end of the list? This is Jim, the VE3JIW for the Mississauga Amateur Radio 2-meter net.
Jim, this is KI5RFI, KI5RFI in Springdale, Arkansas, Mac.
Copy RFI Max. Anybody else? Okay. KI5 RFI Max. Good evening. I don't think I've heard you before. My name is Jim in Toronto. I'm with your Echo 3 Jim I was, JIW. Go ahead. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, this is KI5RFI. Yeah, the handle here is Mack, like a Mack truck, M-A-C-K. And I'm in the northwest part of Arkansas, down here in the good old U.S. of A. in the great state of Arkansas. We're having a cold, cold day here today and getting ready to get a lot colder tonight, maybe a little snow tomorrow. Not sure if we're ever going to get past winter here, but I guess it's too early for that anyway. Good to hear all you guys on the net, and I'll turn it back over to you, to VE3JIW. This is KI5RFI.
Well, Max, we are headed for -3 Fahrenheit tonight. Where is the thermometer taking you guys tonight?
I think here in Arkansas we're supposed to get down to about in the low 20s somewhere, I think, maybe tonight, or maybe even colder than that. Kind of been back and forth down here. Some warm days and then some cold days. Had a little bit of snow a couple of weeks ago. That's the first snow we've had in several years, I think. But it's kind of been a pretty cold winter so far for us. For us, that is, I guess. That's not like a minus stuff. We had some minus below zero last year in February for about 4 or 5 days, and we're hoping we don't get that again this year. Back to you, VE3JIW, KI5RFI.
Well, where I am 2,500 miles due east of northern Oregon. Toronto is not that far north. But anyway, very good. Okay, so I've gone through my list. Murray, we're going into round 2. Did I miss anything? Yes, the website is VE3MIS.ca. I thought it was longer than that. It looks like we have our own little domain. VE3MIS.Charlie Alpha, VE3MIS at RAC.ca for our website. Again, meetings, 2nd and 4th Thursday. Email us if you'd like a Zoom link, because we're doing it via Zoom. But anyway, back up the top of my list, Murray, VE3, Juliet, Mike, Yankee.
JIW, CIW, VE3JMY in the group. Fine business, Jim. Nice to hear everyone. Low 20s Fahrenheit sounds pretty good. Hi. Like I say, looking forward to warmer days ahead. And we drop the kids off, pick them up at the grandkids every day. And there's some locations that get direct sunlight that we're showing grass, but I've got covered over, and so we start again on the melting. Anyway, everyone keep safe. Very fine net, Jim. Thanks a lot. Back to you.
Murray, it's been a while since we've seen each other. Are you still running the Ford? I have a small Ford pickup truck, but just curious if you're still driving a Ford.
Driving a Ford, 68 Ford Mustang convertible. Went out for a warm-up drive over to Oakville and back before the most recent snow. I got out on Sunday. It was okay, cold. The heaters in those vehicles lacked a lot, shall we say. But yeah, I just got it back after some suspension work, and I drive them in winter as long as it's not slushy, get them hot. And if it's a blizzard, heat them up in the garage with the garage door open for half an hour, that type of thing. The alternative is, as you probably know, put them up on blocks, drain them, and shut them down. But we can hope for better weather and more happy motoring. Back to you, Jim.
Very good, Murray. When we're back at the church, I hope to see you again. So anyway, used to use paper, and now dealing with list on a screen of the E3 WBF Barry. 73 round. Anything to add? This is the Mississauga 2-meter net, the E3JLW net.
VE3JIW in the net. Nothing more to add, just to say good evening and good day to the guys down under. Happy Australia Day. This is VE3WBF back in net. Over.
Very good. Okay, Jacques, VA3, Tango Zulu. Come ahead, 73 round.
VE3JIW, good evening again, and Jim, thanks for doing the net tonight, and appreciate the time you spend doing that. I don't have anything else. I will try to do all of next week as well. So we got 7:30 to all. Back to Mexico.
Very good, Jacques. And VA3, Golf Delta Zulu, Gary, hello.
Hi there, Jim. I'm back because I knew you were going through the rotation again. Sorry to hear a few of the things are canceled there down in Australia, but enjoy a holiday anyways. In terms of impact on COVID too, I've noticed the last time we went to the grocery store, some of the shelves were getting pretty sparse. Some of the produce wasn't looking too good. Not only do we have inflation in prices, but we got the truckers protesting having to wear masks when they come into Canada, and the lousy weather that we're having right now. Oh boy, things better improve soon, and with the lockdowns easing next week, I hope to get out and do some more and register for some sporting activities, things like that. And the Olympics is coming up. Starts next Friday, not this Friday, but next, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep COVID manageable, because not many places have been able to do that aren't completely isolated. Anyways, thanks for running the net, Jim. Hi to all. I'll say 7-3 from Toronto. This is Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu.
I somehow think when you run an Olympics in a country where any policeman is welcome to shoot you or use a gun, the level of violence probably allows him to control COVID pretty easily. And it's not wearing a mask that Chuck is upset about. It's the conditions as they cross the border about quarantine and everything. It's more than just about masks. But anyway, do enjoy the Olympics. And Victor Alpha 3, Hotel Echo Sierra, good evening. And I don't think we've ever met Tony, KFL. He's a long-time member of Mississauga.
VE3JIW and net, VA3HES returning. You know, along with all the doom and gloom of COVID and the food shortages and the things going on with the truckers and stuff, the thing that has me rather concerned is I work in the live entertainment industry. I'm an audio engineer, and I've been doing live sound for nearly 25 years. And, well, the last 2 years have been quite the tight nut to crack, and I'm really hoping things get back to somewhat normal soon, because a man can only play so much ham radio without working before the bills for those radios need to be paid. That's all for now, Jim. I'll pass it back to you, sir.
Very good. And Brian, I read you see X-Ray Bravo Hotel. We're in round 2 for the Mississauga Amateur VE3MIS Net.
VE3JIW in the group, VE3XBH. Brian here, and thanks for doing the net, Jim. Good net tonight. Nice to hear everybody in there, and happy Australia Day to our friends down under. And other than that, not much else, Jim. So I'll just send it back and say 7-3. VE3JIW from VE3XBH.
And Brian, Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Zulu Alpha.
On net control, this is Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Zulu Alpha. And Jim, not too much to add either here too. Thanks again for doing the net. And was nice to hear everyone. Had quite a check-in there at the beginning. That was really a great orderly check-in. Went so smoothly, very nice. Yeah, just listening along till the end. And I'll pass it back to you, VA3AZA, over to net control.
Very good. And I can't remember, did you say, I don't know if he's level 2, he's on AX3, HJQ. Can't remember if you said you were going to be around or not. Round 2.
Good night, go again, Jim, Vic, AX3HJQ.
Yeah, we're just putting the ribbons on the net tonight.
Well, Alpha X-Ray 3, Hotel Juliet, Quebec. I love using an AX course line. I've even got an AX QSL card from 3 years ago. If anybody wants one, I don't know where I'll post it. Send me an email. I'll send you a QSL card if you want one. What else to report? Nothing much else. Just having some lunch. Beautiful day down under today for Australia Day. Somebody asked a question as COVID caused a problem. Well, they had a big Australia Day event here in my little sunny metropolis of Tallangatta, which only has 1,200 people, and it was packed. And then when I just drove past, we weren't getting, nobody had a mask on, they were having a barbecue, everybody was partying like it was a normal day. In Canberra they had it, a few people had masks on there, they had a Australia Day celebration there, and they had some new people becoming Australians. I think Robert said today, 19 years ago, he became an Australian citizen. So congrats there, Robert, because Robert's originally from the States. BK2D1, talking about that, Robert. Bob. You can call him Bob now. You're going to wait 20 years before you get Bob, Robert. Got another year to go. Yeah, all good. Beautiful day down here, as I said, and nice day for a day off. Not going to make any difference for me. It's always a day off for me. Thanks, Jim, for the net pitch change VK donor. AX3HKQ.
Very good, very good. The Mississauga and its readers to the internet that welcomes round 2, VE3 Whiskey Mike. Hello, John.
VE3JIW from VE3WN. Oh, Jim, great net. You had a good crowd and a good conversation going. So I just want to mention to folks that we here in Niagara have started our planning for a special event station to be run during the Canada Games, which are going to be held at Brock University in August. So I'm thinking we have enough lead time to get organized, and I'm really keeping fingers crossed that COVID will be history by the time August comes around. VE3JIW from VA3WM. 7-3, guys.
I remember a school trip where they showed us the Brock Monument. Is that on the grounds of the university, or is that a different area?
Jim, VA3WM here. The Brock Monument is just much closer to the Niagara River, just off the Niagara Parkway in Queenston. So, we've been there. I'm not brave enough to go up into it, but my wife Ann did. And there's quite a howling wind through that monument when you get to the top. And she did not feel very well when she came back down. VE3JIW from VA3WM.
Well, it might have had to do with something about grade 7 students and teachers not wanting to deal with it, so we didn't get to go inside. Very good, John. 7-3. Tony, VA3 KFL, your turn.
Yes, good evening, Jim V3 KFL. Thanks very much for the interesting net. As I said, I haven't been on very often, so this is the first time in many, many years. And it was enjoyable to hear everybody and what they had to say. Audio quality on the voice over IP connections down to Australia was impressive. As you may or may not remember, but your voice over IP is how I made my living for the last couple of decades, and how well we've leveraged that in amateur radio is very impressive. I've even got involved in DMR as well, and that was a nice challenge. But as it sits right now, I'm trying to move back into the local area's hobby again. I haven't moved, I've just been inactive. So I will try and get onto these nets more often and say hi to everybody. Jim, a pleasure to hear your voice. Looking forward to meeting up with you sometime. I noticed you're still in Etobicoke, because I haven't changed. I'm still at the west end of Mississauga, 403 and in Winston Churchill. So 7-3 to everybody on the net, and 7-3 to you, Jim. As the 3 KFL will be clear listening.
Well, Tony, you might find this interesting. The internet is going via dishes, a 6-mile link between club station and the repeater site. The internet is wireless, and the UHF 444-575 is Fusion Wires X. So, a couple things I thought I'd mention to note. So the internet, from club station to the repeater site is Wi-Fi, sort of, big distance, and the UHF is Wires X Fusion.
Well, that explains why I can't get on to the UHF. Very interesting. I looked into the digital radio, and I thought that DMR was probably something I was interested in. It was fairly inexpensive to get in, so that's what I got involved in. So very good, Jim. What you talking to us here? This is the VE3KFL. Will be clearing this. Very good. I just thought I'd update you on,
the general health of radioactive Mississauga. So, AX6BQQ, are you with us or not? The VE3JIW for the Mississauga Amateur Community Net.
VE3JIW and the group VK6BQQ using the special event call sign AX6BQQ for Australia Day. It's been quite a trip, a Canadian coming down here. I've been here 16 years and, may or may not become a citizen, but in any event, it is what it is. Just a few announcements, folks. We are getting together with a bunch of amateurs around the world and commemorating the 80 years of the Lancaster bomber. We're getting the RAAF involved, the RCAF, and the RAAF. This will take place in March. We'll have an opening on Echolink from the 3 different countries, March 1st. Now, it's going to be in the middle of the week, but we'll do more advertising. If you like, GB80LAN has a website. VK80LAN has a website, and we'll be getting a website for VE380LAN. So do join us. And coming up Friday nights, of course, we have the Friday Night TechNet on this very network, along with the Flying Pigs. So if you're around Friday night at 8 o'clock, we'll do some time travel. My Saturday morning, back to Friday night at 8 o'clock. Thanks, Jim, for running the net, and do appreciate it, sir. 7-3 for now. AX6, Bravo, Quebec, Quebec. Reg here in Western Australia. Good morning.
Yeah, I remember the net when it was on Simplex. Very good. This is AX2, Delta Yankee. Robert, you still with us?
AX2DY here, Robert in Northwestern JJ. Yeah, it was 19 years ago that I became an Aussie in a place called Mossvale, in what is known as the Shire of Wingecarby, which I also worked for at that time. Anyway, I guess I'm one bob short of a quid. But at any rate, it is what it is. Thank you very much for a wonderful net, and 73 all. VK2DY, that's the net. AX2DY, that's the net.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Robert. And we're going to get under the gun of the repeater shutoff with KI5 RFI back. Hello.
Well, hello again. This is KI5 RFI, Max in Arkansas. Appreciate you running the net tonight. It's always interesting to get to talk to people and listen to people talk from faraway places from me here. Get a little bit of Canadian history and English history and Australian history and American stuff going on. So it's always a fun time to listen in on this net, and I appreciate what you do there. I don't have any further traffic here. It's about time for me to get off here and have a cup of tea or something. So I'll turn it back over to Net Control. This is KI5 RFI out.
Well, very good, Max. Thanks for coming by. And something the Alaska Net they call the Red Light Award. It's the last check-in of the net. Some people work to be the last check-in, but if anybody would like to be the last few check-ins tonight, you're welcome to give a shout-out. My name is Jim. I'm in Toronto, Ontario. This is the Mississauga Amateur Radio 2-meter echo length to All-Star Net.
Victor Alpha 6, Victor Alpha.
Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Echo Sierra with traffic from YouTube.
I got VA6VA and I got VA3HES. Anybody else before I take the traffic? Okay, I'm going to take the traffic from Hotel Echo Sierra first. Go ahead.
VA3HES returning. Just wanted to check in Arnold, who's listening from down in Trinidad and Tobago. 9Y4NG. Arnold, he's listening along on YouTube. He can't get his PTT to work, I guess, on Echolink, so he's listening along. So, good evening, Arnold. Nice of you to join us, and I hope it's nice and warm down there. Back to you.
Okay. Very good on Arnold, and thanks for listening along. And I think this is one of our Western friends, Victor Alpha 6. Victor Alpha, good evening. My name is Jim, VE3JW for the Mississauga Amateur Radio 2-meter net.
Good evening, Jim. My name here is Guile, Golf Uniform Yankee Lima Echo. I think this is the first time that I've checked into this net ever. I have my own Echolink node, and that's what I'm operating on now. It's the VE6GFZ-L. I'm located in northwestern Alberta, a city called Grand Prairie. And temperatures here today are not too bad, fairly mild. We're going to have a little bit of a cool off here. Yeah, other than that, I've got no traffic, so back to you.
When I talk to somebody from Alberta, and they tell me, oh, it's a little bit mild, I don't know what to make of that. I've been in Winnipeg for several different weeks. I've been way, way, way north of Winnipeg. And we're right now minus 13 going minus 20 tonight, which the Americans, or whatever, it's near 0 Fahrenheit. So what's your idea of mild? Minus 72?
Well, if we had minus 72, that would be probably about 19 or 20 degrees colder than we had 2 winters ago. So 2 winters ago, I think we were the coldest place on the planet for about a day, and it's slightly warmed up. Well, for January in northern Alberta, yeah, this is mild. We've got temperatures of, daytime we're hitting 1 to 4. This end of last week and this weekend was nice. We were hitting temperatures of +4, +6. It's nice to see it knocking down the snow nicely, but it's also making a lot of water and then freezing at night to ice, so it's kind of hard to keep the walks clean, so I just sort of gave up on that for now. Yeah, no, for where we're at and the time of year, it's this is mild for us. But everybody knows we're still in the middle of winter, and yeah, we had some wicked snow there in December and the first part of January, but it seemed to have stopped for a while, so that's good.
When I was in the far north, when I was in the north, away from Toronto, and I had mornings of minus 30, I learned that if I turned my headlights on for 30 seconds and then hit the starter, my engine cranked a lot faster. Have you ever had a chance to experience that? If you've got a good battery, but it cold, cold, cold. But the 30 seconds of headlights like wakes up the battery acid or does something to the battery and you get much higher cranking speed. I did back-to-back comparisons with and without the headlight test in the morning. You have to have a good battery. It doesn't work if your battery's on its last leg.
Oh, Jim, I'm an electrician by trade. I'm also a journeyman millwright as well. But one thing I've learned, and I've had this experience with batteries, is I don't push my batteries past 5 years. Once about the 5-year mark comes, I replace them. Even if they're still showing signs of being fairly strong, I'll replace it anyway. Because they wear out. The acid eats them away inside and that sort of thing. I've never tried the headlight trick. I have a command start in my truck, so I just start it up. But also, my block heater is not working. It hasn't for about 2 years now. Just haven't been able to go get it fixed yet. So what I do is I just have a little 1.5, 2 amp little battery charger, and I've already got the cables hooked up to the battery, and all I do is I just plug it in when it's that cold, and it just keeps the battery up. Because there's nothing worse than having a intermittent or a low battery. So that's what I do. It seems to do the trick. We had back in December there, we had a couple of weeks of minus 30, minus 40. One night it even got down to minus 45, and I was there for a couple of days. And yeah, it's hard on everything. It really is. So that's what I found is don't push your batteries past 5 years, no matter what it is, small or big. I just replace them. And yeah, I just use a battery charger, and it works about as good as the block heater, but maybe not quite as good. Just keeps the battery up, doesn't keep the engine warm. I also have been running synthetic oil, which I find helps a lot when it's that cold.
Well, these cars were rental cars that were like a year old, so they had good batteries. But just the experiment I did when it was super cold. 30 seconds of headlight versus not doing it, and the cranking speed difference was amazing. The other thing I did, I drove up and down the highway to St. Marie, which is a fair bit north, and I'd go like 10 kilometers up the highway and come back with the fan on low. So when I shut off the car, sort of the same condition morning to morning. Anyway, the car started, never got really stuck. I parked once facing the wrong way on the edge of a river in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and the wind was blowing and the waves were blowing, and I had to let the car idle for like a half an hour in the morning because there was just a massive ice on the car. I never resorted to pouring hot water on a car windshield. But this was, a guy out of Toronto working up in the far north. Sault Ste. Marie is far north when you're in Ontario. Not the same as Alberta. But anyway, thank you for checking in, and 7-3 all, unless somebody else wants to be the red light of the caboose.
Just one final thing there, Jim, before I go. Turn the headlights on for a bit before you start it. From my understanding, what that does is it warms the battery up slightly and kind of wakes it up. So I've heard of people doing that. I've never tried it myself. My headlights, I have to go out there and start it manually if I were to do that. And when it's that cold, I just don't want to go out and do it. But yeah, there you go. Sounds like you're doing it correctly there or whatever. Sounds fine to me. But really, like I say, with the batteries, I don't try to push them 5 years, and they're getting replaced. Anyway, 7-3. Thanks for letting me check in. VA6BA.
Oh, thanks for coming by, VA6VA. Yeah. I mean, tomorrow's probably the coldest day of the winter. Maybe minus 20, they say in the morning. We'll see. But, hey, thanks for coming by. The other thing I'll say, I'm one of these people who carries candles in my car in the winter. An amazing thing is a candle if you're in a cold car waiting for something.
They do recommend you carry candles and a blanket there, so that's good. You're more prepared than most, I would imagine.
Well, remember up in Sioux, Michigan, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, is the other side of the border from northern Michigan to Sioux, Michigan, which is like 350 miles north of Detroit. And on the, I'm staying in a hotel because I work on fire lines. Anyway, they carry, the PBS station they're carrying is coming from northern Michigan. And the PBS station in northern Michigan would have announcements for people to carry candles in their car. And down there in the banana belt where I live, the PBS station out of Buffalo would never have those PSA announcements. But they definitely had them from northern Michigan about safety equipment in your car.
I normally don't travel that far. I'm usually not a winter-time traveler. I try not to go too far in the winter, just to work and back. And even in that short distance, a lot can happen in just that short distance. You can get a flat tire, which is the worst when it's that cold. That's just brutal. And so I don't have a blanket. Well, I do have one blanket, but I don't have any candles. But usually I'm not too far from somewhere that I could warm up, and not too far from where a tow truck could come and get me, or where somebody could come and get me in a reasonable amount of time. But yeah, as far as like traveling, 1,000 or 1,500 kilometers away, no, I'm not going to do that in the winter. It's just not something I enjoy doing. If I absolutely had to, I would, but I'm not going to just for a holiday. So, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the batteries. I just replaced them after 5 years, and it seemed to work out okay.
Yeah, well, I got stuck in downtown Toronto where I could walk to a bus or get a taxi, and I needed a tow truck. Something to do with a fuel pump. And I could have gone into the building, and I could have sat inside, but I had coffee, I had a book, had my ham radio, had the car, and had candles. I just sat in the car and waited. Tow truck arrived, told me home. Of course, the car started. Bouncing around the road solved the fuel pump problem for a day. But no, candles are amazing things in a car. Anybody else? For the A3, teacher said, go ahead.
Yeah, Jim, I used to carry candles in my car. Never had to use it, but also just with the revision summer, so anyhow, I'm wondering how much
VE3MIS repeater.
Well, I can tell, I was working downtown, and the coldest day of last winter, I parked at 6:30, and I put these little dollar loony-sized tea lights. I lit 4 of them, put them on the floor, passenger floor area of the car where they couldn't cause any damage. decide, shut off the car at 6:30. I went out at 8:30 to have a coffee and a cigarette and play radio. And the car was still survivably warm. I didn't have to start the engine for heat. Candles truly work.
Well, that's good. I think I'm going to do that again. Haven't done it for a few years, but I like the idea. Thank you for coming up.
You bet. Yeah, it sounds good. I've never tried that trick. So. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I thought I heard another station there, so I'll quit hogging your net here, and I'll let you go for now. 7-3, Victor Alpha, 6 Victor Alpha.
Try again who that was. Very low audio. Well, I see somebody reconnected the repeater, maybe or the timer's been extended. I will officially close the Mississauga Amateur Radio 2-meter net. We can be reached at our website, VE3MIS.CharlieAlpha. Email VE3MIS@RAC.CharlieAlpha. And with that, 73 all, enjoy the week. And if you've got a snowmobile, please don't think snow. We have enough. Oh, last thing, the guys up Gravenersley, 100 miles north of Toronto, are complaining there's not enough snow for them to build their trails. They're complaining not enough snow 100 miles north of Toronto. Seven ZLA. Sorry we didn't hear you, but we start at 8 o'clock, 8:30 Eastern every Tuesday. Anyway, I'm going to close out of here. 7-3 off. Thank you.